And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It's April 1st. It's 2026. It is a Wednesday. Hope you're having a good day. I am letting you know, I believe 6:26 p.m. tonight, the Artemis will be lifting off, and I will be walking outside my house. 6:24 p.m. I walk out. I take 20 steps to the right. I turn. I face Kennedy Space Center, and I get the greatest launches right where I'm at. I don't even need to. By the way, I'm not going closer today because I hear the traffic is unbelievable. I'm hearing there's like 1 million people lined up on bridges and roads and everything. The hotels are packed. We have space tourism here in Florida. So looking forward to that. 6:24 p.m. Hey, this is serious talk on everything that affects you. We will do the markets. We'll do the economy, your job, your industry. The president speaks tonight at 9 p.m., the war or not, and everything else that simply matters to you without any agenda, ulterior motive, or bias. When I get disagreements from the left and disagreements from the right, that means I'm doing my job. I went independent many years ago because $39 trillion tells me they all suck. And that's that. And of course, if you do not get this radio show in your city, we will post it at GaryK.com and our X feed. If you don't follow us on X, you should. We'll also post it on the YouTube channel, BizTV. And if you'd like to email us, just be nice. Second day of a very good relief rally. I will tell you, Tuesday morning, Monday at the close, I am scanning and I'm writing notes to myself that, holy crap, the semiconductors, what a horrible day they had. Big institutional selling. Wow, what does that mean if it continues? That was exactly what I wrote. And then I wrote underneath, with a few four-letter words, all the glamour, artificial intelligence names are just cracking. Some of them break the 50-day, some of them break handily. Some of them have been goners. And I'm writing down the names, and then I have this legal pad where I'm crossing off names. That's Monday. And of course, we got all the news that everything's great in the Hormuz Strait, whatever. But we've heard that before, and we don't believe him or any of them. We don't believe them, but the market did. And I have to tell you, for example, Western Digital and Seagate, memory, disk drive, on Monday, a vicious break below the 50-day moving average, this imperative spot, this muy importante place. And that was on top of others. Yesterday, strong day. Today, strong day. Like it never happened. And I can tell you on, get this, Monday, Seagate closed, if I get it right, at 362. 2 days. It's 423. Amazing. Western Digital closed at 252. It's 297. And I always get asked, how the hell these things move 20% in a couple of days down and up? And my answer always is, I have no clue. But there's a lot of news-driven crap going on. And I stopped trying to figure out the ways of the world. on, oh, it's down like this big, down like that. What we do know is when they finally, if anything, finally gets into that downtrend, oh, we'll know it because it stays down. But not just Western Digital, something like a SanDisk on Monday opens up at 651, closes at 572. It closed at 693 today. $120 in 2 days, right back above in its old range. Hasn't broken out, but back in its big range. Its strong range. So what I can tell you in 2 days, and I get asked if I'm surprised. There's nothing surprises me anymore. After 2,500 points last year, I think it was a half hour, off of getting rid of Liberation Day, nothing surprises me. I've lived through crashes, smashes, I lived through the flash crash. Do you know what that was? Years ago, just everything crumbled in a matter of like 5 minutes. And then eventually came back. But you know how many stops were hit in that 5 minutes? And they said it had something mechanical. I don't even remember what year it was. It was that long ago. So what I do now is pretty simple. I measure. I scan. And I can safely tell you that even with the 2 days up, I'm going to guess about 65% of my universe is still in downtrends. Some in big ones. The semiconductors were going into a downtrend, but that got relieved in 2 days. And now in the midst of big resistance, and we'll see what comes of it. The new yearly high list is very small, but it has Alcoa on it, Burlington, Marvell, Mastech, Ross Stores. I would say this Veer was new yearly highs, but it went into new yearly highs today and then tucked its head in like the frightened turtle I always talk about. Now, a few other things that stand out that are important. Oil stocks are being sold off now. They bucked the trend. Every time oil prices came down, they'd still go up. Now they're pulling back. I'm quite agnostic about it at this juncture. But oil prices were down today a couple of bucks. The stocks are acting worse than the commodity. Gold. We had said to you, and timidly, and said to our peeps, I think it was Monday, maybe it was Friday, that we thought maybe that 400 on GLD could provide some sort of low, but I didn't play it, so it doesn't matter. It's already 437. And the gold miners are acting better than the gold. We'll see how that plays out. Silver, no contendo. I don't even know if that's a word. Not a contender. But I just want to go back again. 65% of the stocks that in my universe are still in downtrends of differing levels. I mean, some are bouncing up, but they're in downtrends. So I'm going to guess, just guess, we're going to hit some backing and filling soon, as the big indices are still below the 200-day moving average, but heading into some serious resistance, and that just means some backing and filling. My best guess is yesterday's low, Monday's low, not getting taken out. Did not say forever, but right now, not getting taken out, unless, and I have to bring it up, something stupid happens with the war that's not the war, or a war. You should see how they're turning themselves into pretzels from some people in the administration, some of the Republicans out there, and some pundits can't say it's a war. We'd have to go to Congress. Listen, that horse left the barn, that train's left the station, that car left the garage already. Give me a break. This president has created precedents for every frickin' president going forward. That's nauseating. Nauseating. And no Republican can ever complain of a Democrat who's doing the things that this guy's doing. Ever. Up next, tonight, 9 p.m., Expectations. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Da-da-da. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Looks like the weather is going to be okay for this liftoff at 6:24, at least I think. I'm looking, it's on TV. It looks pretty good over there. It's actually raining where I'm at, and I'm about 25 miles away from the beach. And I got to tell you, all the local people from the news, they're excited. Big time. Speaking of excitement, did you hear the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be playing their 2027 year here in Orlando? I guess they're building a new stadium in Jacksonville. That'll be pretty cool. All right, let's move on. So we've had a real downdraft in the market. Before the war, or whatever they want to call it, the market was already having a little bit of trouble. We highlighted the bunch of the financial areas and names, software, a lot of what we call lesser tech, but the strength was the semis, the memory, artificial intelligence, data center, storage, memory, construction, energy. They're back doing what they did before. I mean, a very strong 2 days. Not everything, but a bunch of them. And I must tell you, an unbelievably strong 2 days for some of these names. I just mentioned a couple of them. Let me tell you what first it tells you. We're not going into a big bear market, except for the areas we've been telling you about. How do we know this? Because in a bear market, they take the leaders down and keep them down. Now, maybe that happens eventually. Well, it will happen eventually, but maybe that happens next week. But as of now, no chance. One of the main characteristics of a real bear market is they take out the big leaders and shoot them. Just letting you know. So tonight the president, and as you know, and look, it's just my opinion. It's pure nausea that he has changed his stance 75 times in the last 3 weeks, and calling for different things on a daily basis. And I hear from his proponents that, oh, it's just him being him. Okay, fine. You know what I care about? Our soldiers out of harm's way. Get this thing open again. Hopefully they don't have any, but I have to tell you, you know what the president said today? And by the way, we're not making this up. I don't care if they have uranium or not. What? The whole reason they did what they supposedly did was to knock out any chance of nuclear. And we go backwards. He told us that their nuclear was obliterated 2-3 months ago. And then they have 2 weeks to get the nuclear. And now he's telling us he doesn't care about the uranium. It's sheer freaking insanity. It's sheer freaking insanity. But anyway, tonight, my guess is we won. We took out all of this, that, and the other thing. We've destroyed their navy, their military, their capabilities. I think he's going to piss on NATO. And Europe, how dare they not help, even though he never consulted with them in the first place and curses them out every day. As you can tell, I'm not thrilled with the guy and his foreign policy demeanor. But we stand by him and root for him, seriously. But that's what I think tonight's going to be. I think he's also going to say, we're out of there in 2-3 weeks. That's what I think, or less. And some of the things out of his mouth in the last day, I just simply want to vomit. Simply want to vomit. Oh, if the Strait of Hormuz is open or not, I don't care. Let Europe take care of themselves. It's just asinine, ass 10 and ass 11. Anyway, that's the story. I don't think he's going to say anything market unfriendly. I believe you'll probably hear something to the effect of oil prices are going to crash once we are moved from there. And that is not a reach, especially if they open up the strait. I'm not so sure I need to add anything else. I'm rooting for him. I wish for him to do great things. There's not a lot I can compliment him for at this juncture. He pardoned another white-collar criminal yesterday that is not going to have to pay the victims. And that is basically the day after he announced a commission on going after fraud. Again. And we bring this up because this guy is running the world. We're trying to. And he's running the markets. And we talk about markets. And he's running the economy. And we got to talk the economy. So we have to talk him. We yearn for the day where he just slows up. Takes a step back. Let things be. That would be wishful thinking. Back on the markets. Specifically, the big indices, even with the 2 good days, are still below the 200-day moving average, the long-term moving average, but getting closer. I believe the Dow finished underneath. The Dow at one time today was up, I didn't realize this, 238, 462, and it was only finished up 224, but still a good 224. S&P up 46. I believe the S&P at one time today was up 6 and 9, 25, 34, 80, and the NASDAQ was up 250. At one time today was up, not that bad. Almost 400. So little pullback, and that's normal. 2-day jam, normal to hit some resistance, pull back, sit. I have no clue about tomorrow, but again, the things that showed up quickly is what was working is back to being strength. And let me add one other thing. Before the war, or whatever he wants to call it, the transports were strong. Rails, truckers, they're getting there again. Up next, what else in the markets and whatever else in the news? I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. By the way, if you've never been to Cape Kennedy, make sure you take your kids. I hadn't been there in ages, and I took my wife a couple of years ago, and for me, it was... I couldn't get enough of it. It was fantastic. I didn't realize how big these rockets are. The technology to get these things doing what they're doing. And with Elon Musk now and SpaceX, do you know when the rockets come down and they're grabbed by that arm, those rockets are big as a skyscraper. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Stunning. 624. Make sure you're see it on TV if you're not close to where we are. So Tuesday morning, I was on TV before the market opened with Stuart Varney, and we knew that the market was going to have a real nice gap to the upside. But he had asked me about one of my worries that I've had for a bit, and that was Micron and NVIDIA. We're big believers, something we were taught many moons ago, that when you have a company that's loved and is reporting what are magnificent numbers, when that company can't get out of its own way and even is dropping, that's worrisome. That's the market telling you something. And I said that to him that morning. Let's see. NVIDIA's gone from closed Monday at 165, opened, not sure where it opened. Let me see where it opened. Opened at 168. It's 176 already. Bear with me. Micron opened kind of flat at 315. It closed at 367 today in 2 days. Both still weak. NVIDIA remains in it's still 10 points below last August 7th and is trading where it was July 25th of last year and is still below the high of 212 that was in October. Closed at once at 25.37. Let's call it 16% below the high on 4 quarters of accelerated earnings and revenue, which has us again posing the question, what the hell's going on? And on Monday, in the last few days, it broke that very important 170 level. But as we always say, if you can get it back quickly, and it did, so it's back above, but it's gone no place fast. It's still in the midst of nothing. While everyone is bullish on it, except the big institutions refuse to pay up for it. And then Micron, on their gargantuan earnings, drops from 471 to 311. Thus my worry. It's back to 367. Still down $100 from 2 weeks ago, but better. But if that weakens again, not good news. I'm a big believer the market's got a big mouth. And the big mouth you see in movement, in price, in patterns, in uptrends and downtrends. So for the life of me, I don't know. Maybe NVIDIA, that it's a 4 trillion market cap, I don't know. How many shares outstanding in NVIDIA? Like, there's more than billion, right? I think 24 billion. Tough to move that thing. But I'd have to believe with earnings, 4 straight quarters, up 33, up 54, up 60, up 82. Sales last 3 quarters, 56, 62, 73. I thought this thing could get out of here. And no, they sold it down. So we're keeping a close watch on it. That said, it looked hairy going into Monday on that whole AI trade. 2 days of gaps, and they're back in what I would call better. I got a few names at new highs, but not the big names. Marvell new high. They announced some AI deal or something. That's at new high today. I think I got 10 new highs of note. Yeah, 10. Make that 9. So what's next? The Strait of Hormuz. By the way, the president also said he controls the Strait of Hormuz. Another one that, what? Huh? Anyway, we'll see what happens there. Right now, Iran is controlling and making people pay up in yuan, the China currency. It's very weird out there, kids. It's very weird out there. Our left screen of lesser tech? Nope. Still really bad. Even with the market up today, a ton of red. And pretty much a ton of red all day. What does that tell me? It's going to remain in tech land very narrow. On a day like today, ZS down 4, VEEV down 3, APP down 10, BE down 3. Remember that circle thing? Down almost 5. Spotify 14. A-Lab 3. They clipped some of the other software names also. I believe software was down today. Yeah, it was. All right. You know what I would love now? A few days of nothing and a few days of pullback. Last April, after Liberation Day, we had that 2,500 point up, sat around for a couple of days, then pulled back for 3 days. And then, boom, a big confirmation day that you never know if it's going to work, but you go with it, and we did. And we were moving. This time, don't know. But the better setup at this juncture, after 2 days, give me a couple of nothing days. Just a couple of nothing days. Would be thrilled and would set the markets up better going forward. Financials, mixed today. I got BlackRock, Blackstone, Apollo, LPL, KKR, Raymond James, Schwab, Texas Pacific, MasterCard, and Visa, all down. And a lot of other the private equity credit stocks, all down. So mixed bag. The banks are up a little bit, but off the highs. They've got to do much better. Retail, for the most part, still stinks. BJ Wholesale got hit hard today. Dick's Sporting Goods got hit hard today. That's not good. The dollar stores acting poorly. That's not good. The housing related, that's not good. Housing stocks can't budge. So important to recognize, even in 2 good days, your handsome and buff toast is telling you there's still plenty of issues. And you're going to have to stay very specific and very narrow, or you're going to lose money. Insurance stocks can't get out of their own way. The consumer staples haven't been very well. And by the way, they smacked today Philip Morris Tobacco Company. I still don't know why anybody smokes cigarettes, by the way. How do you smoke cigarettes? Putting that crap in your lungs. Ugh, gross. Up next, this, that, and the other thing, whatever else shows up. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to the Investor's Edge. Passover starts tonight. I will be at a friend's house for a Seder. For those that celebrate, enjoy. It is a major Jewish holiday. It's basically the story of the Israelites' liberation from slavery in Egypt over 3,000 years ago. That's the story. And I must tell you, every year I watch The 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston. Still one of the great movies of all time. The Seder is a ritual dinner held at the home, and it's usually on the first 2 nights where you tell the story. So that'll be tonight for me and for anybody else out there who are celebrating Passover. And I believe Easter, when is Easter? Sunday, April 5th. There you go. And Good Friday is Friday. Yeah, I got that right. And it's a Good Friday because the market's closed and I'm off. I will be in New York City visiting family and friends. So for everybody celebrating their holiday, enjoy. All right. Where am I going next? Simply put, first thing I do right now, since there aren't many, new yearly high list. Why? Typically, a lot of the names, not all. Let's use the word many. Many names on the new yearly high list will tend to lead. But you got to decipher. I found a couple of Alcoa at new yearly high. That's aluminum. I found Century Aluminum at new yearly high, so a couple of aluminum stocks. I got to see why, because that can change in a heartbeat. I mentioned Marvell. How about something like a Mastech? This has been one of the strongest heavy construction building stocks out there and hardly pulled back while the market got trashed. And the first thing he does, a new high ground today. Does it mean it has to be successful from here? No. But you just put a little bit of odds in your favor. The retail, we have harped on. There's like 4 or 5 retail stocks that stand out. Sore thumbs. Burlington, Five Below, Ross Stores. Less so TJ Maxx, but that looks almost ready to break out. And that's really about it. I'd like to say Target, because that's at a new yearly high, but I'm not thrilled with the numbers. The rest of retail mostly bleh. But that takes me to Nike. Down $8.19, 15.51% overnight on a 35% drop in earnings, 0% revenue growth. The last 4 quarters earnings down 86%, down 30%, down 32%. Oh, and by the way, this earnings included Christmas. They got serious problems. They've lost their, for lack of a better word, cachet. I used to love going into Nike stores because it was Nike. I don't care anymore. That means their marketing has been less than stellar. And thus, boom. And we're just bringing this up because this is a major league name that they put into the Dow and took out Exxon. Exxon has skyrocketed on oil prices and Nike has crashed. And I bring it up again because Nike topped out at $179. It's $44.63 today, and 3 analysts came off their buy recommendations today. By the way, they go from buy to hold. So they're not telling you to buy, but you can still hold it? Really? Now, I'm not sure where they had their buy recommendations from, but you can go back just to August, the last year. It was 80. So it's almost down 50% since last August. And again, I'm bringing this up, be a lesson for you. You never know what great brand name won't be so great anymore. Disney closed at 96.5 today. Do you know it topped out in 2021 at 203? It's down more than 50. And do you know Disney is now trading where it did let's call it November of 2014. 11 and a half years of no gains in Disney. Disney's probably top 5 recognized brand names in the world, don't you think? And can't get out of its own way. And by the way, they're charging too much anyhow, but I guess they're still doing good in the theme parks. You know what Disney should do, but they wouldn't listen to me. Get back to what you do best. Not so sure they'll listen to me. Anyway, we're just bringing that up. Lessons. Nike. The end-all, be-all. And it's toast. And it's going to be very tough to turn around. I wouldn't want to be that CEO. And we've heard about Cracker Barrel this year. 72 down to 28. By the way, Cracker Barrel is trading where it did 09. And down from $185. We want you remembering all this. All right, that all said. On that note, have a good evening. Drive carefully. Happy Passover. Go watch The Rocket if you can. When you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family, hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. Until tomorrow. Peace out all. Good night.